Yes.
Uh, hmm, Good morning. First of all, thank you for inviting me here. This is a huge achievement, and it's a great honor sitting here with the Department of English of the University of Calicut. I'm Hana Khais from Chedamangalur, but I'm currently residing in Bahrain. It's I'm studying ninth, going to 10th in the Indian school Bahrain, and my family my family consists of my father, mother, and three younger sisters, two of which are studying right now. My mother is a teacher, and my father is a businessman. And I'm here because of Hailey, as you all know. It's a novel that I wrote within 3.5 months, and I think some of you have read it. It's about a girl who was put in foster care at the age of 3. She Her life changes at the age of 10, and her life completely changes at the age of 14 too. And one second. Sorry, a small disturbance. Mm. So, in order to learn, for me to tell more about Haley, I'd like to begin from where I started, like my first, my likes and dislikes, and how I started writing Haley, and that's because of reading. I love reading, and it's my passion. So I just love reading. And before the pandemic, because of school and classes, I couldn't read much. But it's after the pandemic that I started reading more. Reading, mm, it's it brings me comfort, and I just immerse in that book. I love reading, and it's like I live with the characters, and I just go with the flow. I can experience every single thing that the author writes, and I just completely uh, forget my surroundings. I won't hear my mother calling me or anything. I'll just be with the book. So that's reading for me. And in my family, mostly everyone reads except my uncle, who also writes. He's my father's brother, and he writes too. That's about reading for me. And after the pandemic started, because I could read more, I started searching for online reading. I started searching for apps that will let me read free of cost. And the only one that I liked or caught my eye was Wattpad, and I started reading from it. It's it's actually a writing app where people write their stories and post it, and others read it. So it's mainly a writing app, but I mainly use it for reading. And I have a lot of books on Wattpad that have been published or been turned into movies and all. So I'm wishing my book turned to a movie also. That's about Wattpad. And after about 5 months of reading, I got an idea, a thread for story, and I quickly wrote it down so I don't forget it. It was a small line or something, and I developed a description and a summary and everything from it. I wrote the characters down, like how they should be, their personalities, every single thing. I knew how the ending should be and how the what all should be included. So I wrote everything down, and then I sent the description to my mother. She said it was nice, so I started writing the first few chapters. I kept the first three chapters as drafts and didn't upload it. It was just kept there, and I didn't have the confidence to upload it. I was always worrying that whether people would read it or not. Then after a few days, I uploaded the first chapter, which got many reads within the first few days. So I started uploading more. It's How do I say? It's got more reads within a week. Like 1K reads or something within a week, and I started uploading more often, like twice or thrice a week. I was very happy because like for 3 chapters I got 1,000 reads or something. So it was a huge achievement, and I was so happy. So I started uploading more, and within a month I got about 35,000 reads. So I stopped uploading for a bit because of exams. The readers were giving me positive remarks, so I continued uploading. But after a month, because of midterm exams, I stopped, and the readers just dropped for a while, just for a while. But after uploading, they came back up, and that was a huge thing. Um, and the ranks, the while uploading a story on Wattpad, we'll have to make a book cover and a title, and there are certain tags that we put for a story. Just by reading tags, we'll get a minimum idea of what the story is about. Like if it's a murder investigation story, the tags would be murder, mystery, thriller, edge of your seat, and like that. So put some tags for the story, and a story will rank in those tags. Like for example, if it's about family, then in the tag family there'll be about 50,000 stories, and our story could be number one or number 50 or anything. And for my story, there was a lot of ranks in which I trended. Like, no, I won't say that ranks, that the ranks have become like that. Wait a minute. Sorry, there's a problem. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure, sure. You can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Mhm. So now I can see the percentage in which how many readers I get from each countries. So in there are a lot of countries in which people read there: Africa and Australia and Canada, USA, India, and there are a lot more, Germany. So I can actually see the percentage and how many people read in each country. There are about 40% coming from USA and 15% in India. That's how much is in India, and there's about 3% in Canada and 1% in Germany or Brazil. There are a lot of Brazil, and my biggest support, like I get support from everyone: my family, my friends, my relatives, my readers, my parents, everyone. But I think my best supporter is my sister. She never used to read, but after the pandemic started, she had finished at least 8 books, and she's the one who gives me feedback after each and every single chapter. She keeps bugging me for the next, like what will happen in the next chapter, but I don't tell. And after the next chapter is updated, she'll be the first one to give me feedback. So I guess she's the best supporter I have. Like she points out the grammar mistakes and all, and helps me edit the books, chapters. So I can say that she's the best supporter and the best sister. And in the future, like no matter what field I take, I'll always take writing with me. It has become a passion now, and I encourage everyone to read and to find out their passion and develop it. So that's it. And once again, thank you for inviting me here, and a special thanks to Asha Chechi for helping me throughout this whole process and grooming me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Hana. I'm glad that the session is very aptly titled. Um, Lending an ear to the future, thoughts from a teen author. So these were Hannah's thoughts, and now we can have an interaction about how she got into reading, what kind of reading she prefers. So yes, please feel free to ask your questions.
Hi, Hannah. This is Arun. Uh,
Hello.
yeah, so I just want to ask what Asha Chechi has just given like a hint of like what kind of readings are you do you prefer? What kind of readings are your favorite? What types of books?
Yeah. Yeah, I love fantasy and fiction and mystery. Like those are my favorite categories of books that I love, and the authors according to that, like Paulo Coelho and Arundhati Roy, J.K. Rowling, Chris Colfer. Then there's Agatha Christie, Enid Blyton. Like these are my favorite authors.
Okay, okay.
Hana, I'm Umar. I'm a teacher
Yeah,
here. Actually, I
yeah.
know you. Would you please tell us something more about your novel, its plot, what happens in the novel? It will be sort of a spoiler, but still tell us something.
Yeah,
Of course, I read parts of your work here and there, but not. I didn't get the hang of the plot. Actually, to be frank.
it'd be a spoiler, right?
Yeah, it will be a spoiler, but still.
Okay, then it's Hailey. She was, as I told before, she was put in foster care at the age of 3, and at the age of 10, her foster parents started abusing her. She didn't know for why they did that, because till the age of 10, everything was good for her. She doesn't remember about anything before the age of 3. She doesn't remember her real parents or anything. She only remembers the time spent with the foster parents. So, because they started abusing her at the age of 10, she lost hope. Like no one, she's thought no one would save her from there. Like, she wanted to have a real family, but at the age of 14, two people come. Her foster parents are business people. So at the age of 14, two people comes to her house for a business deal, and they say they saw something that was within their family. Like the people who comes to the house was the Browns. They're the, like for number one business people, and they saw something that belonged to their sister, their long lost sister, and then they started like searching up the foster parents more, and they found out that they have a daughter, and she looked just like their sister, and they were sure that it was their sister because they had a family heirloom which belonged to their sister, and started moving to their place and kept an eye on her. And one day, the parents abused her a bit too much, and she lost consciousness. So the brown people, they had kept a camera. They had hidden a camera, and they saw it. So they rushed her to the hospital, put the Andrews in jail, and saved her. And then something more happens, but I can't say more because it'll be a major spoiler.
Tasneem sir, I've been through the novel, and this is probably the maximum that she can talk about that.
Okay, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Now, where does all this take place? Means have you got a fix?
Um,
Means
it takes place in Oakland,
okay, New Zealand.
California.
Oh, Auckland, Calicut.
Oakland,
Okay, right, fine.
yeah.
So why did you choose California to be your locale? That's something I find a bit intriguing.
Uh,
Like, yeah,
it's I wanted a place where like I just chose it at random because we can't keep it in India and all, because I wanted to be an English setting, and New York was out. I chose a list of plays and chose the best that wouldn't be in other books. Like New York is featured in a lot of books, and California was the one that, for me, like from the books that I've read, California wasn't there in anything, so I just chose that. That's the reason. I haven't seen California in any of the books that I've read. Yeah.
okay, that's good. That's a satisfactory kind of answer. Good.
Okay.
Okay, right, fine.
Yeah. So, hi, Hannah. Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
I'm Janaki, okay? Yeah, I'm teaching
Yeah.
in the department.
So as Asha said, maybe it must be the youngest person to talk to us, that too as a writer of a novel. So it's kind of really interesting. And congratulations for the success of your novel. I haven't
Thank
read it
you.
as yet. I'm really eager to. Would you call your novel young adult fiction? Because what I feel is that, I've been actually talking to quite a few writers who write for children and write for young adults. And what I noticed was that it's always written by adults, not young adults themselves. Generally we say children's literature is written not by children, or young adult literature is not written by young adults, but by the adults. So, would you consider yourself a writer of your own stories? Your own generation stories.
Uh, Not exactly like it's teen fiction. Like
Hmm.
adult fiction, there are a lot more serious things with.
No, I meant teen fiction. Young adult means teen, right? Young adult
Yeah,
fiction doesn't it fall into teen fiction? Yeah, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. So, have
no
you?
one
I just
considers.
want to know. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. No, I just want to ask you. You yourself said that you have been reading J.K. Rowling, many other writers who write young adult fiction, right? So
Yeah.
you yourself are an author now, and you are a young adult too. What do you think is the difference between the way you write and when an adult writes for young adult children, young adult fiction? Is there a
Um,
difference in perspective in the way you write, in the way you develop a character? Do you feel
I,
you're doing?
I think I think there is some difference because they are like they
Yeah,
have gone through the teenage stage, so they have experienced everything more fully. They have gone through everything and they have more experience. But I'm just writing it during the teenage age, so there might be a major difference. How I write, there might be mistakes and there might be plot holes and everything. But and if I'm editing it, I might miss that because I won't realize it during reading. So I think there is a huge difference.
no, do you think your voice will be more real, more true to the teenage spirit than when a person who has gone through teenage long time back is recollecting the teenage experience and writing? Is there a difference between the two? Because you're actually a teenager
Uh,
now, right? And
yeah,
you know the pulse of the today's generation. So do you think your voice
yeah.
will be truer? Yeah, that's what I want to know. So, yeah.
Uh, Maybe because I don't exactly know.
That's okay. I just wanted to know how do you feel the difference? Because J.K. Rowling, when she wrote about Harry Potter and all those people, she was not a young child at all. She was a pretty grown-up
Yeah, she was
woman,
very
right?
adult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So she had to imagine definitely imagination plays a huge role in the writer's armory. You don't necessarily have to be there, have to be a child to write it for children. And it has not been the case. Children never wrote for themselves. So we are all always imagining, this is what children want, and they write. We write, or rather, the adult world writes for children. But
yeah,
here, you are a teenager, you are writing for kids of your generation. So, do you feel that's a kind of that's what I wanted to know? You don't have to answer me right away. I'm not looking for that. I was just wondering whether your voice does it have a truer ring to it than when an adult, from an adult world, somebody very mature, long past his or her teenage, writes for a teenager, writes kind of teenage fiction. Is there a difference in tone, sensibility, everything? That I was just wondering about that. Yeah.
yeah. Mm, it might have because I write like what they experience and everything. Uh, if, for example, if J.K. Rowling, she might be writing about what
Mm.
she experienced and thinking what the teenagers would want,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? But I am writing like what I'm experiencing right now, so it might be a more
Exactly.
true version.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I felt. So, do you think maybe, sir, there are people who have said, "I would like to write the book I want to read." I've very often heard certain authors say that I'm writing a book that I want to read. So, are you also writing a book that you wanted to read sometime because of
Yeah,
your
I
satisfaction?
read it. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it's a great achievement. But which platform? Where can I read your book,
Uh,
Hannah? Where can I? Yeah, tell me.
its own Wattpad.
Where
It's
backpack? Did you say backpack?
Wattpad.
Janaki ma'am, I have the link. I'll share it with you.
Okay, okay, all right. Thank you. These are all new publishing platforms, I think. Is that so?
Yeah, it's new for me.
Hello, Asha. Is it a new
Yes, ma'am.
publishing platform or something? Yeah.
I'm
Is
not
it a
sure if
new?
it is that recent. Hannah, Wattpad
Okay.
is that a recent platform?
It's not a reason. It was released in 2006 or 5 or something.
Oh, okay, all right. We are totally, I mean, at least I'm not so aware of all these new places that have sprung up. But what do you think about that? Are there many kids like you who use this space to
Yeah. Uh,
about? Okay, okay.
yeah, there are a lot of teenage, especially during this pandemic. I've seen a
Mm-hmm.
lot of children from age between 10
Okay.
and 18.
Oh,
They
oh,
also write stories.
oh, I see. Okay. And who are the major readers? Again, teenagers, or are they being read by people outside
Yeah,
that age group too?
they are
Yeah.
mostly teenagers,
Okay.
and then there's middle-aged people also. Some.
Okay. All right. All right. Anyway, I think I shall try to follow what's going on there. Thank you for introducing us to this new world. Thank you, Anna. Yeah.
Okay.
Hannah, there is a question in the chat box.
Um, can you read the question? I can't see it.
Sure. I'll read it out for you. It's asked by Srishma. She says,
Okay.
"Hi Hannah, can we hope for a series like Harry Potter in the future? Do you have any plans to write such a genre?"
Uh, I don't plan to make like a series. There'll be all standalone different books, like different categories maybe. I don't think there'll be a series,
All
even
right,
if I
okay.
like.
You said you have more plans and you have withheld them because you have got exams and academics. So what are those plans that you have?
Um,
All young
I've
adult fiction?
yeah, yeah. No, the next book that I have is actually a adventure book, but for that I'll have to look into more, like look into adventurous stuff more.
All right. So who are those adventurous novelists that you uh, enjoy reading? You said Enid Blyton. Who else?
Yeah. Uh, I like reading Charles Dickens and Jules Verne.
Okay. More questions to Hannah. Yeah. So when you talked about this new online platforms, Wattpad is not that new, but then I would have authorship and readership. All of these are very flexible. So when you said you have all teen readers, I was just wondering, apart from their locations, is their age group is also visible there?
Yeah, I can see like if the majority of readers are female or males, and during if we download the app, and we'll have to have an account. So during that, we'll have to mention if we are a male or female, or if we don't like to mention, and we'll also have to mention our date of birth.
Mm.
So I can see uh, like can see the demographics, like the gender and the age
All right.
in.
Okay. Okay. And also you get to interact with the readers as well. All these are possibilities that these new platforms are offering. And I saw your interactions where you say you will hunt down those people who will steal your stories. You will say you're
Yeah.
withholding the next chapter until your exams are over. So it's what kind of interactions do you receive from the readers? What's the nature of that
uh,
interaction?
we can announce like announcements like when our next chapter will be and all, and then there's the private message section. We can chat with our readers. So I mostly get um, messages from readers saying how good the book was and how they enjoyed it, and
Okay.
then like I chat with them,
All right.
ask what all they liked and all.
And do you take their suggestions and amend your upcoming chapters?
Yeah, if for example, I asked which point of view they want, which character's point of view they want, and I give them a bunch of options, and the one that got the most votes, I use that point of view, like or third person point of view or a character's point of view.
Is that how
Like
you
this.
came up with that bonus chapter?
Yeah, some of them wanted bonus chapters before the things happened.
Okay. All right. More questions?
Hi, Hannah. Am I audible?
Right. Yeah.
Hi, yeah. My name is Anita, and listening to you speak took me back to my teen years because while I was doing like my 10th and everything, Wattpad was a very big thing. I also studied in the Middle East, and I remember being like way too into all these series and everything on Wattpad, and then I kind of lost touch after that. My question is. Do you think as a country in India, India kind of lacks when it comes to the popularity of such writing platforms? Because what I've noticed is that obviously there's an exposure to global audience because a lot of people can access your stories, but very few Indians are on the platform. And especially, coming from Kerala, there's also this idea that English writers kind of have a lack of spaces. Budding writers have a lack of visible spaces to portray their talent while it comes to writing. Of course, we have a lot of great Malayalam magazines and everything, but do you think the popularity of Wattpad is enough? I don't know if that's the right word, but enough in a space like Kerala or India.
No, as you said, the majority of the readers and writers are from USA and all. Uh, the Indian readers that I have are very few. Like they message me, and I can actually see if they're from India and all. And since there's only 15% readers from India, I think the popularity of Wattpad in India is not enough. Like it's a great app. We can in India itself there might be a lot of people who can write stories, so it's a great app. I've told my friends and everyone, I told whoever I can about this app, and I think they have downloaded it and all.
So, how do you think we can, maybe, increase the popularity? Maybe by linking it to other social media, spaces like maybe Instagram. Does that happen? Because I'm not really sure if that happens right now. I'm not a very active social media user, but does that really happen?
Wattpad,
these days?
I don't know about Instagram, but Wattpad has a YouTube channel, and there's in Wattpad itself there's an Wattpad India account. For Indian readers, there is a separate Wattpad account, and um, um, how do I say? Checking with the other Wattpad accounts, India has less readers and writers. We have Wattpad Germany, Wattpad Brazil, or for a lot of countries there are different Wattpad accounts made by Wattpad itself. So if we compare them, India has less readers and all. And
Yeah.
I'll tell others about Wattpad. Ivana?
Because I was thinking, I recently came to know, I don't know if this is true, but one of those Wattpad stories was being made into a movie. I don't know who the author is,
Yeah.
definitely not Indian. Yeah, and that was a big deal because, I was very intrigued. I was very invested in that story. I read about it a few months earlier, and I realized, like, if we had we had enough popularity for such platforms in our country, it could make a lot of
Yeah, there are books that have been turned to serials. Like there's a book that is being currently shooted for a serial, and I'd love to read that, but it's in the paid stories program, so it's not really possible.
All right, thank you. Thanks for being with us today. It was really great listening to you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Hana.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Anyone?
Uh, just one. It's not a question. So, I was impressed by your reading list. Quite varied. Agatha Christie, J.K.
Yeah.
Rowling, Paulo Coelho. Um, what's the first author? Arundhati Roy. Yes. So probably I think it's the time for you to read many more books. Okay. And in many more, but this is impressive. You have been discriminated between what are called serious texts and those works which are entirely set apart for entertainment. Okay. So probably by the time I mean you reach maturity in quotes, because to write a novel you need a certain amount of maturity. You're already mature, but technically speaking, by the time you are 21 years old, so I think your reading list should be very impressive. All right, just you devour books. You don't read books, you devour books.
Yeah.
So, all the best.
Thank you.
Hana, I'm just curious to know. Uh, well, is Wattpad a monetized platform? Like, I'm not sure, which is why I'm asking.
Yeah, it's a monetized platform.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. Questions anymore?
ആശ്ചര്യ ഒരു കമന്റ് ബോക്സ് മെസ്സേജ് ബോക്സിൽ ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട് തോന്നുന്നു.
Okay. Yeah, Hana, I'll read out a question.
Yeah.
It's asked by Reshma. She asks, did you used to write even before the pandemic? You know, everyone used to read, but what made you think you can start writing? Is there anyone who said you could just start writing?
No, before the pandemic, I never used to write, and when I downloaded Wattpad, writing hadn't even crossed my mind. It's after 5 months that I just got an idea and I quickly wrote it down. I never thought I could write, and no one told me that I could write. But I used to participate in essay competitions, but that doesn't count as writing.
All right. So what was that spark which made you think you want to write? Or did you have this plot in your head even before that?
No, it's after Wattpad that I got an idea and the idea to write. So everything happened because of Wattpad.
Okay. Any more questions? Please use the chat box. Uh, if not, shall we wind up? Sheriff sir, what say? Shall we wind up?
Yes, Asha. Yes.
Yes.
If
Hana, shall
there
we
are no
wind
more
up?
questions,
Yeah, ഒരുപാട്
suggestions or
questions ഇല്ല.
comments, you can wind up. Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wind up, Hana. All right.
yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? Anyone? Okay, so we are winding up. Thank you, Hana, for sparing your time. And I'm really glad that the pandemic opens this possibility for you because it was not kind to many. So growing up with Enid Blyton, J.K. Rowling, and Tolkien, reading you was a huge pleasure, and it felt like going back to a genre which was not visited for a very long time. So thank you for the experience of reading that you offered, and also thank you for the experience of listening to you. So we wish you all the very best, and waiting for more novels to come from you. Okay. So
Okay.
thank you.
And thank you for inviting me also.
Yeah. Thank you. So thank you everyone.
Thank
We'll
you.
meet next week.